Can we get a feed from the laptop up there?
Honey.
All them other niggas lame and you know it now. When a real nigga hold you down, you supposed to drown. Bam. Bam.
Honey.
I wanna fuck you hard in the sink. After that, give you something to drink. Hey, you remember where we first met? Okay, I don't remember where we first met, but hey, admitting is the first step. And hey, you know, ain't nobody perfect. After all these long ass verses, I'm tired, you tired, Jesus wept.
You're tired of loving when nobody. So just grab somebody. Don't leave in this party with nobody.
Honey.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming.
That's the first time I've seen that video.
That song is not a good song, you guys. Especially when you have to watch it and dissect it frame by frame.
We actually, I knew you were making this video, and believe it or not, we had tech questions about how to accomplish the recreation of the Bound video. Yeah. We were trying to figure out ways to move the backgrounds and incorporate the live action.
There was a lot of reference modeling. It was a good time.
I made them do
My
this.
nuts.
No. Hold it closer to your face, just like that.
You gotta make the stupid faces, Bernie.
Gus is actually really comfortable, I have to admit.
Solid Mexican bone, baby. But yeah, we watched the original Bound video, and we also watched the other parody video.
Yeah, to see how they did it.
We were like, how did they copy it without spending a ton of money? Like, oh, okay, let's do that.
Yeah, we just did a bunch of stock footage.
Bunch of stock footage, stock videos. So I've been seeing pictures of the Gus bot the entire event. I'm glad I finally get to see him in person.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Please do not engage kill mode.
Restrain yourself, please.
I'm going to take a selfie with the Gus bot. Hold on a second.
Right.
So, Jordan, this is the biggest panel you've ever had. This is the full ballroom and everything.
Yeah, we finally made it, you guys. And I didn't change a damn thing. The blue outlines and the stick arms got me here.
You did it your way.
Yeah.
Do a duck face, Gus bot. I have a rule. I was in the line earlier with people. I said, if we take selfies, you have to do duck face.
Oh, yeah.
There is no non-duck face selfie, except for maybe Gus bot.
He said that he would like to donate that to the podcast set, so.
Wow.
He also wants to kill all humans, so.
Hey, what a lucky day for us.
Little sugar and spice.
So as part of the making for the Bound video, we discovered that this would be the first RTAA in several weeks that would not be 4K.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that that's a strange thing to not do now.
Right, because
That was 720.
we couldn't find 4K stock footage. So for a lot of the moving on the backgrounds, you would take a 1080 image and then crop 720 and just pan across it.
Yeah, there are a couple images that are just really blown up and cheated, but we got the job done.
I mean, do most of you guys know that the RTAAs are produced at the highest resolution of any Rooster Teeth production?
Isn't that awesome?
So if you wanted to blow up Jordan's shitty drawings onto the side of a building, they would look equally as shitty as they do on your mobile phone, essentially.
They wouldn't look worse, that's for sure.
Good
There would
answer.
be no loss of shitty fidelity in that process.
Internally, I know I pushed a lot to get it moved to the 4K workflow, and people kept asking me, why? And I said, why not?
Yeah. 4K is the future, and RTA is the pioneer of that future.
It literally renders, it takes the same amount of time to render,
It
right?
takes no time at all.
You would think if somebody works at Rooster Teeth, we would have beaten the question why out of them, like in the first month that they worked there. It's like, why is that guy in a closet yelling at a video game? It's like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up, that's why.
I know when I was on radio and I was listening to Security Guardians talking earlier, there was back and forth. They were saying, we have some shirtless guys in the convention floor, is that okay? And they said, oh, wait, they're cosplaying as Mr. Diddles. Never mind, it's all right. Like, it was like, oh, wait, no, that shirtless guy? Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I was gonna say, there's a shirtless guy on the floor, and how is Blaine doing?
Yeah, exactly. That didn't take long.
So you have any other goodies, or do you want to make an outline for this panel? What are we doing, Jordan?
We're here for you.
Fucking
We're
no.
here to support you.
We'll just vamp for a little bit, and then we'll take some questions, and then if you ask the right questions,
When you
I'll
vamp,
play
you're
a
not
video.
supposed to tell people you're vamping. Hey, we're gonna talk a bunch of bullshit for the next 2 minutes.
That is some great vamping. Good
Thanks
job,
for
Brandon.
lining up.
Last year, the RTAA panel was over in room 18, right?
Yeah.
The second biggest room. Now you've graduated to the biggest room. You're going head to head with the Achievement Hunter GTA 5 Let's Play right now. So you all made the right decision
Yeah, you did.
Right.
in coming to this panel.
I bet there's more people in here than there are in the rest of the building. So.
In the business, we call that pandering.
You will deserve a round of applause for yourself, so go ahead and do that.
Yeah. House lights. Hey.
You even get the spotlight. It's great.
I will say that these guys have a history of ambushing me on this panel, sometimes literally. This one was, I had no idea that Jordan had made that fucking masterpiece of me riding on Gus, which,
I did ask you, like, backstage, I was like, have you ever seen this this music video? And you were like, yes. I was like, that's good. That's good. You need to have seen that.
yeah. And then immediately all the hair on the back of my neck stands up.
I know we talked a lot. You had a bunch of different ideas for something you wanted to animate for this
Yeah.
panel before you settled on the bound music video.
Yeah, usually it's like, something a little more meme-ish, I guess, like a more viral video with like cats or something. But Kanye West himself, I think, is a meme, and we should all just embrace that.
He is. He's like a human meme.
A
he is.
A meme?
A human.
What was the first time you ever heard of Kanye West?
I think it's when he did the George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Classic Kanye.
yeah.
I think-
Taylor Swift.
The Taylor Swift one was pretty big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was already big before the Taylor Swift thing.
yeah, but I didn't know who he was, so.
Yeah, but that's when he really cemented it. A view of him as being a complete and total jackass. That's when it really became part of our society.
So how long? So we just passed 150.
Yeah,
RTAAs.
150 RTAs.
So what about
Thank you.
3 years of weekly animated adventures?
Yeah, 3 years weekly. It'll be, at the end of this month, 4 years old since I started.
Do you have a queue or a backlog at all yet?
I do now, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
2 weeks.
I always feel bad for Jordan. 'Cause I
Yeah,
say,
it's tough.
You need to have a backlog. You can never
I
take
never
a
get it.
vacation.
I can never get sick. I can never, well, there was one that we had set aside for a long time that I was like, I can't, I need to bring this back. So I had to like redo old graphics, and we released a really old one.
Yeah, you've got like a bin of videos that you can pick from every now and then when you're in a pinch.
Yeah. We do have a couple of those, actually, so that's always good to know. But we're ahead now, so that's all that matters.
You know, I have to say, I make fun of Jordan all the time
Yeah.
because he's a terrible artist.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Go on.
there's very few people in the entire company, or very few shows, I should say, even in the history of the company, where you can point to it and essentially say it's one person who does that show. Like, that show is synonymous with that person. And Jordan is the Rooster Teeth Animated Adventures. I mean, he takes audio from stories we tell on the podcast, but obviously he adds so much to it with the animation that he's the only guy that works on it. He's the driving force. You've had like help for like a week at a time here and
Yeah,
there.
sometimes when I was going to Australia, we had.
But listen, I mean, 4 years, you making just one show, it's a huge show. It does great in terms of views. People love it. I love it. Thanks, dude. It's awesome. Thanks for 4 years. You're badass.
Thank you, everyone. Is it bad that whole time you were saying all these nice things, I was just waiting for an insult?
You'll notice that halfway through I started talking about you in the past tense. That's just FYI. After seeing that fucking video you just put up there in front of 5,000 people.
All right, let's open the floor to some questions. Who's got some?
While they
cues?
line up, I'm going to ask, we can't ever release that video, right? Because it's copyrighted
Yeah,
music?
no. Well, one of the things Brandon was talking, we were talking about using a certain website, I don't know if we can say, but for the stock images, and he was like, you have to include all this stuff in the metadata if you're going to put it on. I was like, nope, can't do it. It's copyrighted music. We can't do it anyway. He's like, all right, yeah, just go for it.
So y'all are the only people who will ever see that awesome
Yeah.
piece of work.
Unless somebody recorded it and puts it on YouTube, then you can just watch
Yeah,
it.
fuck the music. I won't sign my release. That's not going anywhere.
All right, looks like we got a healthy line of people over here. I can't imagine what kinds of questions you have for us, but please amaze us.
Stump us.
All right, so Jordan, as a talented artist that you are,
Good one.
Is he doing air quotes?
He could not say that with a straight face.
what's your biggest inspiration? Like ice cream, pizza, masturbation? Like what is?
Wait,
Ice
what?
cream, pizza, masturbation.
You know, there's a history of awkward
I
questions.
just need to know what I need to try.
There's a history of awkward questions at RTX, sir, and you're great. Straight to the bottom of the barrel. Appreciate it.
Well, as far as inspirations go, it's none of those. So, yeah.
So I
I don't
guess
even know how to answer
What,
that.
you and I have some in common. We're inspired by other groups, and what got you into Flash?
Definitely, Homestar Runner is the main driving force. Like, the whole reason I even sat down to do a cartoon was because I was watching a lot of Homestar Runner one day, and I was like, I really want to do this too, because I really enjoy it. And, yeah, I pretty much copied their kind of way they do things.
Inspired by, not copied.
Yeah. Other cartoons I really like, Etta and Eddie growing up. That's probably my favorite cartoon, and then throwaway stuff like SpongeBob and stuff like that. I'm a 90s kid.
I saw someone earlier dressed as the haunted shopping list from
That's
SpongeBob SquarePants. A little obscure, a little deep track there. Do we have the next one over here?
Yes. Hi. Jordan, you announced last year that there was something called the Achievement Hunter Animated Adventurers of X-Ray and Vav. Where's that? What?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Was that on the panel last year?
Yeah.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Where was I?
No, I don't think you were there.
Oh, great.
Jordan was there.
Were we under the table?
I might have been hiding under the table at that point.
We should have done that this year. All right, next question.
Over-promising.
Yeah. My question is for Jordan. The originals that you do, like the Podcast King and the original one, the one you've done recently for 150, is that all stuff that like you come up with on your own, or do you get like help around the office, like pulling ideas for those?
For 150 especially, it was, I had a different idea entirely for that, and I was talking to Chris Damaris about it, and he was like, well, how about you try something that doesn't suck, like this? And so he pitched like the kind of behind the scenes concept with Bernie as the director, and like, you know, how strange it would look if RTAA was like a production. And so we pitched around some ideas. So Chris was definitely the big help with that. He helped write the Podcast King last year too, but that was definitely my idea, which was heavily inspired by an episode of Adventure Time called King Worm. And then I think Attack of the Bernies was I think I wrote it, I had the idea for it and then wrote it that day and then sent it to Bernie. He's like, yeah, okay, we'll record this. Because I was still living in California actually, and you just recorded it all for me. And I had audio like instantly, and I was like, all right, I'll do this.
You, for 150, you had me record the Panther's dialogue, so all of the growling that it did. And in order to prep for that role, I just started pulling up videos of panthers on my phone in the sound booth. Like, what does a panther sound like? And we found the scariest videos of people who had panthers as pets.
It was a weird video. There was like a lady with a baby and the panther like behind this like thin wire fence going up and like showing its teeth and roaring super loudly, and you were just like, look at this video, what is going on here?
It was so surreal, so bizarre.
I only wish now that it was a cougar, so that Gus would be looking at pictures of cougars on his phone. The dialogue would have been a little different.
All right, I'm going to show
Hey,
you.
you're hot. How
I'm
you
going to show you
doing?
something.
Ooh, we got something.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Uncle Brandon, he talks like this.
All right, let's tone it down. Like,
Sorry.
Boo.
We'll just start over.
All right, this is typical Brandon. He talks like this.
all right, let's tone it down like 100%.
Oh, okay. Does this mean we're breaking? I am prairie dogging like a son of a gun. We're pieces of shit. What? In the butt? Bernie, I just want to be you. I'm buying a Tesla. Hey there, pretty lady. You want to make out? I'm wearing Confederate flag boxers. Oh, so snooty. Scoff. I didn't study at Juilliard. I'll tune your tractor. Who is Brandon? Like, where's he from? Stop rolling the cameras. Pencils down, Jordan. I'll make you squeal like a pig. Hey, I'd like to try...
It's like the Tasmanian devil.
Where does he like to shower?
Funny ad-libs.
Brandon, you're not in this episode. Like, even as a character who comes on and asks why he's not in it, you're not even in that.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
You want to play needle in the haystack? My penis is the needle. Panther, on any other day, I would give you a reward for that, but really bad timing. What's his favorite food? Is it tacos? I kind of want a taco. Do you want to get tacos? What are we doing? God damn it, Panther! I can tell you where it's not. It's a cage where it should belong. Like women in the kitchen.
Oh, that's going in.
Oh, this is just like high school. Don't question it. I've always felt like a woman. That guy thinks he fucking knows everything, I swear to God. Every time I talk to the guy, he's like, I'm the smartest fucking guy in the world, even though I'm Mexican.
I have to growl like a panther for maybe 20 seconds. So I want to point out that I've been doing Rooster Teeth stuff for 11 and a half years. This is the dumbest thing I've ever been asked to do. So thank you, Jordan. And that was only the dumbest thing because I didn't have to do anything for the bound video.
Is that really the dumbest thing you've done in 11 and a half years? I want to remind you, we had you miniature jumping out of a jar of mayonnaise at one point in time.
That was actually, that wasn't bad. So it sucked at the time, but it made my hair really nice and bouncy.
So disgusting.
Who knew it was like putting mayonnaise in your hair? Like my hair was shiny for like 2 weeks.
It's so gross. The one thing about Gus, though, when he's all greased up, is that it's perfect for him because he doesn't want to touch anybody, so he doesn't, like a hug, he just like squirts away like an oiled balloon. It's gross.
The grossest part about that was after I was covered in mayonnaise, I took a shower at the old studio, and I got out of the shower and was drying off and realized I still had a little bit of mayonnaise in my ear.
Ugh.
It was like, oh, God, gross.
You put it on a sandwich?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You got a stew going.
I do want to say my favorite part about doing the scripted episodes is getting to work with everybody in the recording booth, because everybody just like dicks around so much and gives so much extra material. Like when I ask Gus for funny ad-libs, he just says funny ad-libs. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
It's working with that kind of talent that really Makes it all worth it.
Such an intellectual, multi-level joke. You never would have thought to say funny ad
It's
lib.
so obvious, it's like you didn't see coming.
It's referential within the joke itself. I actually love it. I love when I get in the booth for a scripted RTAA. I have a ton of fun with that. Yeah. Because, it's fun when you're a fan of something. I give Jordan a hard time, but I'm a huge fan of him and his work. And so it's like whenever you're a fan of something, you like play up to it and things like that. Of course, I always make fun of your horrible noodly arms and stuff like that, but...
We always make jokes about it. It's cool.
All right, should we hit another question?
Yeah. Who's next?
I think we're on that side, I think.
Do it.
So this is for Bernie and maybe Gus?
All right, I'll see you guys later.
How did the conversation go for when you were deciding to hire Jordan?
That was actually all Gus, not me.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's true. I remember Gus messaging
How did
me.
your internal conversation go?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first time I saw one of Jordan's animated adventures was the San Diego one.
It was the day it came out, that night you posted about it.
I saw it when I landed in San Diego for Comic-Con. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, this is really funny. And, Jordan was moving around at the time, I think.
I was living in Georgia at the time.
Yeah, so, we let him, I don't want to say we let you continue going, but Jordan continued making the videos on his own, and after, he did a bunch of them, then we said, well, this guy's obviously going to keep doing it, and they've all been funny.
He's not going to stop. We might as well just...
Well, why don't we bring him in and cultivate it and continue to work on it? And we haven't worked on it at all.
It's gotten a little bit better.
How? What do you think has been the major improvement in the
The arms are more noodly. I don't know if you've noticed.
They're more noodly.
There's an advancement in the noodle technology.
When Jordan first showed up to the studio with his computer, I was like, hey, do you need an updated copy of Flash? We have the Adobe Creative Suite here. He goes, no, I'm fine. I'm running Flash 5.
No. It was Flash 8.
I'm like, the splash screen still said Macromedia Flash.
It did.
It was a version that predated Adobe buying them.
Yep.
You had to install Windows 95 in order for it to work.
But yeah, so there have been improvements on the technology side of things, at least hopefully.
Yeah, 4K, man. I don't think we could have exported 4K in Flash 8.
We had some 4K issues, like we had to deal with that. Like dealing with Adobe Premiere, it was CC and...
Yeah, it would never, 4K was too big for it. It could never scale up to that size. And we were like, well, what are we going to do?
Yeah, it was bizarre. We had to work all that stuff out.
It took like 3 weeks to get it right.
All right, next.
Hey, Jordan, could you please just show the X-ray and VAV thing and stop just beating around the bush about it?
What you say about bushes? I can't understand your accent.
We are in Texas, the bushes are from here. Yeah. Howdy.
There's things and logistics of electricity.
Next.
Get the hint.
He's been busy working on noodle arms. I don't know if you heard the artistic process 2 seconds
These
ago.
4K videos don't make themselves.
Not yet.
Have you done anything more with the Bravest Warrior people or anything?
They put the Bernie Catbug in their mobile game. So if you play the Catbug Fly game and you play it long enough, you can actually unlock Drunk Bernie Catbug and play as Drunk Bernie Catbug in the game. There's no popcorn though, so that's a little disappointing. But no, it's really cool. I was at VidCon last week, and I was about 20 minutes away from meeting the kid who does the voice for Catbug, but I had to leave and he had not yet arrived, so we missed each other, which is like the biggest disappointment in my entire life before the video that he showed before this panel.
Come up and get some free swag.
Notice how he keeps talking bad about the video, but not about the actual experience of riding the real Gus.
That was fucking awesome.
Hear that, ladies? And some dudes, it's okay. Someone
Let's not
take your
judge.
pick. You get your pick of an animated adventure DVD or
We got Gus.
a Gus bobblehead.
I'll take the bobblehead.
The bobblehead, a wise choice.
That one's better.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Dude, you gave that guy a free thing and he insulted you.
He said, he said, I've already got the Bernie one and that one's better, so I guess I'll take this one. That guy right there.
I think that was a totally legit review, buddy. 1 out of 3 panelists found that review helpful. Yo.
All right, well, I'd like to start by saying that I love the Noodly Arms. My last name is Noodle Man, so it's great. Second, what?
Noodleman.
Yeah. Second thing, with all the stuff that you're working on now with like Laser Team and Day 5 and all the movie stuff, can we be expecting some sort of animated adventures movie or short film?
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, it turns out Laser Team is going to be all animated adventure style, you guys. That was the stretch goal for $2 million, and we made it.
You're not supposed to say that until after the campaign ends.
If we can raise $3 million,
I'll do it.
It should be like, you know how DVD players have the alternate angle that only porn uses? Like if you have the alternate angle, it should be the RTAA version, where it's like a shot-for-shot recreation of the film.
You make that joke, but as one of the stretch goals, we unlocked an orchestral score for Laser Team.
Is it orchestral or orchestral? You keep saying orchestral, and it's driving me crazy.
I'm right. However I said it. I don't even remember how I said it, but I'm sure it was absolutely correct. It's a joke I said, when we unlocked it, I said, that's such a relief, because in the original version, it was just going to be Gus humming all the music in the movie. And of course, everyone said, I want that version. So now we have to make a version of the movie with an alternate audio track, which is you doing all the music.
Wait. This is the first time I'm hearing we have to make this.
I want to give the audience what they want.
I am so non-musical.
That was not a sex thing. You guys turned it weird, that's all.
I'm so non-musical and tone deaf, it might be the worst thing ever recorded. Oh, and next the Kanye West album. Shots fired.
Nah, you could do a Kanye West album.
Bound.
There you go. All right, who's next?
Over there.
Hey guys, I just want to say first of all to everyone who can't show up to RTX, you're missed. We love you. Have a great time anyway. All right, Jordan, is there anything that you have made that has been really difficult to make, or stuff you refuse to make?
Oh boy.
Refuse to make.
We know what you refuse to make.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Usually, like,
look how sensitive he got. What was the thing? What did he refuse to make?
He refused to make himself.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't want to animate myself.
Or your hot sister.
Or your hot sister. I was waiting for it. I'm glad he said it. He said, I didn't say it this time.
Yeah, but you're here, and I blame you for it.
No, I know. It's his fault. It's my fault.
Bernie in trouble.
No.
Bernie, why do you do this all the time?
I did not say it. I didn't say it.
Yeah, but you laughed.
So we have a rule at Rooster Teeth that it's a rule so that when the cameras are rolling, we don't want people to censor themselves. And so there's a rule that is if anything comes up that we record that you don't like, you can just say veto. And everyone will make a case of saying, no, it's funny and it's okay. And, Jack, you don't look like an idiot in this. But we give everybody the right to do that. We think it's important because we think it makes people go to, like, really fun and crazy places on camera. But Jordan has said, don't make jokes about my hot sister. And I say, I won't make jokes about your hot sister. And sometimes I make jokes about his hot sister, and I feel bad about that.
No, not sometimes.
I feel like I'm saying
every time you're around me.
But actually, there was an RTAA. I don't know why I'm saying this. There was an RTAA, which is like one of my all-time favorites.
Don't do it.
And it got vetoed, and I'm just so disappointed about it. And it was vetoed because I liked it so much, I think. That's what I think. So
it's true.
It's a secret one.
It's in the bin.
I think
maybe someday.
I think we might have showed it at one of the panels one year by accident.
I think we did once show it.
No, I brought it to the 2012 panel just in case. And you told me.
We're talking about something we're not going to show.
Yeah.
So I feel bad about that. But that is, you did, he fucking asked the question. What are we talking about?
That guy.
Yeah.
When you ask a question, you can come up afterward and pick a shitty Gus bobblehead or.
There's also a Bernie one. May I interest you in one of the better 4-star reviewed Bernie bobbleheads?
Shut up, Bernie. Next question.
Wait, pick one.
So speaking of fun and crazy places, when are we going to get the RT Life recreation of that video with the tennis balls?
Who was speaking about fun and crazy places? You made a segue that doesn't exist, sir.
Were we? Segue.
You did just a minute ago.
You just dropped that
you
on us.
did literally a
I
minute
didn't talk
ago.
about a fun and crazy place.
Speaking of prolapse, I took a monster shit earlier.
Bound.
Bound. I did not take a monster shit earlier.
You, Gus could out inappropriate segue anybody in the world. I guarantee.
Give me a second to read this.
Yeah, the worst.
This Animated Adventure podcast is brought to you by Best of Teeth Animated Adventures DVD.
You need to give everybody a seizure.
Brought to you by the Shitty Gus Bobblehead.
Do you have an answer to that question?
What was it? Sorry. Going crazy places? You wanted an RT Life of the tennis balls?
The bound video.
Oh, you just got it when like Bernie walked on stage.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
You don't need to see it. You lived it. It was awesome. It was awesome. My pants are wet.
No, it's from me.
I hope this isn't being broadcast.
Yo.
Hey, Jordan, do you ever feel tempted to lend your unique animation skills to the Ruby production team?
I don't know.
You guys are using a lot of adjectives that basically mean shitty. Just go ahead and say shitty.
Just call it what it is. I've already done that. In Ruby Volume 1, there was a RTAA segment. It wasn't exactly RTAA style, but it was like blue outlines and noodle arms and stuff. But yeah, we did that last season.
Yep.
I have a question.
Go watch that.
Who have you not drawn that you would like to draw? Have you drawn Bling yet?
I haven't. I will probably need to.
Hey,
at some
Monty.
point. What's up, Monty? Don't say anything you'll regret.
I need more RTAA and Ruby.
Oh.
I'm very mad at
I was going to say, you say Ruby and Monty like appears.
It's like a puff of smoke.
I think we said it 3 times and like he appeared. But yeah, go ahead and. Well, whoa. Monty.
He just disappeared.
Well, Monty, wherever you are. Oh, okay. keep writing some stuff for me, and I'll be happy to do it.
Okay, cool.
Or I guess Miles, you fucking write some stuff for me.
Can we see? I want to see that intro again. I didn't get to see it.
We'll show it to you later.
It'll be the outro as well.
All right,
who's next?
You saw it when we mocapped it.
Oh, this guy. Right here. What do you want?
Wow.
Christ.
Man, they
answer
call
was
it Superior Bernie now.
2 out of 3 people have bad taste.
Yeah. Well, they're all gone now.
Were we over here?
Who's next? Hot dog?
Hot dog?
Are you?
Yep, it's me. Yeah, it's me.
All right.
All right, well, first off, I just want to say that it's really great to meet you, and it's great that I've mustered up the courage to talk.
All right, next question over here.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want to beef with you, but so that RTAA made completely in wood. Is that ever gonna happen, or?
No, it's not, because it was a joke. Don't you people get it?
But a lot of jokes have.
It's so stupid, and nobody would ever do it, that you'd have to be an idiot to even suggest that there's a possibility that we would do it. So
Shit just
really,
got
you're just
real.
part of the joke.
Whoa!
No, we really wanted to do it when before the video came out, but we ran out of time, and now it's just one of those things that if we ever do it, everyone's gonna be disappointed by it. So it's just like a legend.
He's pissed. This is the hipster
What'd you say
version
about
of
my
mad.
hot sister?
Yeah, I'm just trying to distract from him being mad at me about talking about his hot sister.
Over here.
Has your diehard determination to never draw yourself ever caused you to skip over stories that should be drawn?
I'm looking at who's behind him in line.
So, yeah, same question.
But I just saw who was behind him in line. And oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what?
No, should they go first? They got the attention. Does your diehard determination to not draw yourself ever cause you to skip over stories that you think should be drawn?
No, I'm not in a lot of stories, so it's easy. There was the one with the.
It's the saddest thing anyone's ever said. No, I'm not in a lot of my friends' stories.
I don't fucking care. Not like Bernie, I have to be in everything.
I'm gonna have to use Monty's trapdoor.
We were working on. Shit, what was I gonna say?
What
was the question? Oh, the Mega Bloks Forward Unto Dawn. I was part of that story, and that's what like made me draw myself in RTAA form to begin with. And I was like, nah, they're not ready. So I just edited around it. But I'm not in any stories that need to be animated, so.
Is it like, if you were to draw yourself in an animated adventure, is it like in The Simpsons when they draw God and he's the one character with 5 fingers?
No, I'd be more like comic book guy.
That's sad, nobody laughed.
I know, because they know it's true.
You know, see, sad, isn't it? Yeah, sad. One of the cool things about Jordan is I like watching the RTAs when they come out because he actually, I don't know how you do it, honestly. He edits the stories, which come from the podcast, and we'll go off on tangents. He'll glue together a minute to a minute and a half story that we told over the course of like 5 minutes, which is not an easy thing to do, especially when people are talking over each other and yelling, and Barbara's got some damn pun that she sticks in and stuff like that.
Nice to meet you.
Soulmates. I saw Barb. Is it okay to talk about this? I saw Barb backstage. She's dressed as Yang.
Oh yeah, you could talk about it.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, they came out for their panel dressed up like that.
That's so awesome.
You guys missed it, but it was cool.
Yeah. Once again, another thing we can't show you that we're going to tell you about.
Next.
When you first started, did you choose your shitty animation?
Wow, thank you, sir.
Wait, what do you?
Or was it forced upon you?
Yeah. Or could you have done them better?
This is called the turn.
No, I actually couldn't have done them better. They're so shitty, they're even shittier at the beginning, because that was only like the 3rd cartoon I made, because it was just, something I was doing just for fun, and it was something to learn Flash to do something else, and now I'm stuck with it.
I can't believe I'm going to talk about technical challenges again when it comes to animated adventure.
Hey.
But some of the early challenges we had were the transition from a 4:3 aspect ratio to 16:9.
Oh my God.
And figuring out how to get it to a 720p resolution.
The problem with that was the default setting for the stage in Flash 8 was 550 by 400 pixels.
Wow.
So
that was the biggest monitor when that program was written.
Exactly, and that's 4:3 aspect ratio. So the characters are all drawn to that scale. So when we wanted to do 720, instead of just making the stage that size, like 1280 by 720, I had to calculate a 400 pixel, I guess it's height, to 720. So it's actually 711.1 repeating pixels by 400, and then we just go from that to 4K now.
Still?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not just 720 blown up to 4K. It's below that blown up to 4K.
It's 411 blown up to 4K. Like literally 1,000 or 10 times more.
I'm glad you guys are happy. I didn't understand a fucking word of that.
Gus and I, sometimes we stay late at the office. I'm trying to figure out these problems with RTAA.
It's like, we should have a more technical, the theory of animated adventures panel.
You guys hold your own mock math camp at night when no one else is there?
My math camp is actually having a reunion this weekend.
You don't have to tell people that.
We already knew you were a nerd.
I was a little bummed I couldn't make it. They were like, are you sure you can't make it? Like, yeah, I'm a little busy this weekend. I got some people in town to see me. It's my parents.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at? No, over here? Yeah.
Look at these guys.
Hey, Jordan, I just want to request that there be some more of the Minecraft animated adventures. Those are pretty cool. So, is that a possibility?
It's a total. I just did one this week, actually. We're getting to the point where there's good stories that don't have to be created into some sort of different narrative because you've already got a visual representation of what's happened. So when Jeff tells the story about his tree-hugging girlfriend, it's just like a podcast story told in a Let's Play, which is great. But there are some that are being edited. The audio for the Minecraft Let's Plays poses another technical challenge that I won't get too much into because it's kind of complicated. No, I'm kidding.
I hope there's more math. Yeah, I want to say, we should say hi to Chris Dyke, too. So, Chris, why don't you say wave to everybody? So, Chris, you know, Jordan...
Hold on. I want to sign this guy's boobs. I'm pretty sure I will not get in trouble with my wife for this.
Pretty sure.
You should have him sit on your lap and
yeah. Hopefully she didn't see the entrance to the panel. But Jordan is one of many people that work at Rooster Teeth that we hire.
Oh my God.
I don't even want to look back.
That's canon.
I feel like it's way worse in my head, whatever's happening behind me.
That's canon. Girl Bernie's tennis ball breasts do squeak now. It must be so. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're out of bobbleheads. Sorry,
well,
man.
Give it to a friend.
Okay. He already owns this, he said. Thanks, man.
All you guys heard was the squeak, but I'm close enough that I heard that is such a physical exertion for Gus to squeeze something that I heard him grunt and then the squeak.
I poked it.
Take it to a totally new level.
All right, where are we at?
Over there.
I've forgotten with the boobs. Okay.
We're all a little flustered. It's okay.
Boobs make us all a little nervous.
I'm excited over here. So, okay, for Matt, what is your favorite shitty animated adventure that you have made? And for Gus and Bernie, what's your favorite one that you've seen? Okay.
Did she say for Matt? I'm not Matt. Are you Matt?
I missed the first part. I forgot because of boobs.
I'm still flustered. Still freaking out over here.
It's okay. What was your question? I don't think we understood.
Just say it one more time.
What is your favorite shitty animated adventure that you've made? And
Wow.
for Gus and Bernie, what's your favorite one that you've actually seen?
Oh.
You guys go first.
My favorite animated adventure I've seen. It's gonna have to be One With Me.
Yep.
They're all so good. I think the one with Gus Bot dancing to Gus.
The Omni-Gus.
Omni-Gus. I'm gonna have to go with Omni-Gus.
That's a good one. I like that one too. Bernie?
Joel's brain. That's my favorite.
Oh.
Wait, what did he say?
Nothing.
Moving on.
Go over here.
There sure were a lot of horses in that video.
I think you copied the appropriate number of horses. Oh wait, that's a horse puncher.
Hi. So for Jordan, I just wanted to know if you were going to take your shitty animation to another level.
Can we stop?
I'm sorry.
I got what I wanted.
It's
Now I'm
Bernie.
upset. Now
Okay,
I'm sad.
I'm just wondering because, the first ones are really funny and everything, but now they're way better and they have color and everything, so is there anything
literally
else?
color, singular color.
Other than blue.
Colors? Is there anything else that you're doing to, improve your artistic comic stuff?
Your artistic
things?
Stuff. What is the next innovation in animated adventures?
Well, we've been working on different shades of blue for a while. That's been tough.
I was also wondering.
Elbows have also proven challenging.
How did you come to that shade of blue? Why that shade?
I was going for like a kind of, because it's kind of, the original is kind of like, it's so shittily drawn that it was supposed to kind of look like pen on paper kind of thing. So I picked like a blue pen color and just used different shades of blue for all the coloring. And it gets to the point where you look at it and you don't even realize that the characters make no sense stylistically.
Yeah, it's a really specific shade of blue in Flash. It's called default.
If you want to know the hex code for the blue, it is 566187.
You've let the cat out of the bag.
Now everyone can make their own.
You could go back to your homes and paint the most depressing room ever.
This is RTAA Blue.
All you do is abuse us for like a minute and a half a week for 4 goddamn years. I get fucking half an hour
Why are you
every
on this?
July.
Why do
I'm
I
gonna
do
use
this
it.
every year? Every year I ask you to be on this panel. I don't know why.
Next, over there.
First off, Jordan, I won't say it's shitty. I actually like it. Second, Gus, Bernie is right. It is orchestral. And my question is... My question is, as we saw in the beginning with Bernie said he never saw that before and kind of freaking out. Has there been any other times where you've like blindsided anybody else at Rooster Teeth like that? Like they come in and go, "What the heck is this?"
Oh gosh. Yeah, all the time, really. I mean,
Like, even when Jordan, or I guess before Jordan came to the studio and was working remotely, I would ask that we not see anything until the day it was ready to come out. So, and I wouldn't even show it to anyone. If he did manage to turn in something early, like the 1 or 2 times that happened, I would hide the files and then not show anyone until it was already uploaded and online. Because I didn't want anyone to be able to give notes and change anything. Because it was still early enough in the process to where people might have thought that they could give notes on it.
yeah, to make it better. Thanks, Gus. That really would have made me step up my game, and I just can't afford to do that.
But no, I thought it was important to leave people in the dark and just let them be surprised by what they saw when it went online.
That's still kind of how it is. I mean, I work, since I'm the only person working on it, by the time it's done, nobody else has seen it, unless it's Shane, who's in my office with me. And so it's, everyone always watches it and will come up and say, it's like, great one this week, I was in it, and it was funny, or something like that.
I'm always disappointed when I walk into your office and I get a glimpse of one before it's done. It's like, oh.
I remember you did do that one time when I was working on something. It was the one where your sweat, I think, erodes metal. And you were in a prison cell, and you took one look at it, you're like, I know what this is, it's ruined.
Yeah, I'll see one frame of it and be like, I know the exact story you're animating right now.
All right, let's take a break from questions real quick.
Thank God.
Yeah. Let's show next week's animated adventure.
Time on the go there.
The hexadecimal code for terrible blue.
Let me pause it real quick. Before we get started, this one's a little different, and I hope you guys like it.
Oh.
Gavin or Google, Google or Gavin, which one said it? Let's find out. Hey, I'm feeling lucky. The first phrase that I gave to both Gavin and Google is, can you break? First return, can you break your own neck if you really wanted to? The others return, can you break your lungs if you only breathe in?
Lungs is Gavin, your own neck is Google.
Gus, you are correct. Hey. Gavin wants to know if you can break your lungs.
How do you break your lungs?
When you breathe, you pull out your rib cage, right? And that just sucks air in your lungs.
Right.
So if someone got your rib cage and just yanked on it, air would fly in and explode your lungs. Yeah, that's not you breathing in too much. That's a motherfucker yanking on your ribs. Yeah. It's like if somebody shoots you in the head, it's not the air that got in. It's the person who shot you in the head.
Doctor, what do you think happened to this patient? He has air on the brain.
All right, the next question was, this involves babies. Do babies, ... First question was, do babies poop in the womb? The other one was, do babies float?
Well, assuming that do babies float is Google, makes me really concerned about the health of our babies in this country. It's like, I've got this new baby. I wonder if it's going to float.
Or maybe people just trying to solve a really weird, physics homework problem.
I think do babies float is Google.
It turns out that Gavin wanted to know, do babies float?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, I heard of babies being born in water, and I thought, that's pretty cool. But then I just thought, well, what happens next, though?
They've got a guy with a pool skimmer on the side of the water, ready to scoop the baby out. He's like, I caught a dead possum with this thing. The baby's no problem.
So funny.
God damn.
It's funny, I can
so funny.
I can watch those and I forget what the end result of those conversations is.
Yeah, you can play along at home.
Like when when I said the doctor said that he had air on the brain, I was like, that's really funny.
Go me. That was really funny. Me.
Yeah.
I love all the stuff that Jordan adds to the stories. Like at the end when Barbara finds out that Gavin asked if babies float, she's like, on the couch, she was like, "What's the fuck's wrong with you?" In the cartoon, she's like, stand up, ready to throw down, like a Canadian hockey player. That's awesome. That's great. So it'll be out next week?
Yeah, that'll be out this coming Wednesday.
Unless we just streamed it just now. Did we stream it? All right, it's out right now. Go figure.
Meh. All right, let's go back to questions. Who was next? All right, I'll take your word for it.
How long does it take to make RTAA on average?
Usually I say about 3 days, and then usually the rest of the week is finding other stories to animate, trying to get ahead, and failing.
NBA Jam.
5 days in the week. I know the World Cup is going on right now, which is causing some work disruptions.
Yeah, well, it ebbs and flows. Usually when there's a lot of stuff that's heavy on pre-production, like if it's a long story or if there's a lot of new assets to be created, that takes sometimes up to a day or two to do, and then the animation and the lip syncing afterward is always fun.
Do you know, Gus, when you were gone in the later part of the week, or the middle of the week, to prepare for RTX, Jordan and I were in your office to watch World Cup? Because I couldn't figure out how to turn on your TV, and Jordan could.
I know how to work that TV.
And we're watching Belgium beat the U.S. We came up with a new game that we're going to play on the podcast.
What is it?
It's... who said this? Was it a World Cup announcer, or is it a popular search on Pornhub?
Do we want to spoil the first one?
A good example would be, they're having a lot of trouble. They're being sloppy getting their balls in. That's going to be fun when we do the podcast panel.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Go.
Do you have, Jordan, do you have like a checklist or something that reminds you like what podcast you should animate?
Usually, it's tough, especially now with getting ready for RTX. I haven't even listened to like the last 3 podcasts, so I have to go back and listen to those. And usually as I listen to them, I'll make notes or just like trim the audio and set it aside to edit it down later. Or use the RTAA suggestions thread on the Rooster Teeth website, which is always very helpful for people who want to see specific things animated and are specific in telling me where and what podcast it is in or is. So yeah.
So that's a forum thread.
Yes.
So go to roosterteeth.com.
I'll link to it one of these days.
All right. Next.
Hey, I'm going to ask Twitter if they have any questions. We're going to use the hashtag. What was the code for blue on there?
566187.
566187. So tweet with hashtag 566187, and we will. I'll take your questions for Jordan.
Oh, cool.
And they'll all be in shitty blue.
Next.
Hey, all right. So Bernie, I'm sorry to put you in the spotlight for this question, but
you don't have to ask it. We can just end it right here, dude.
Are you sure?
We can get out.
I mean, I can continue freedom of speech.
You sure it's your life? Let's go.
I think I'll take the risk.
All right.
All right, Jordan, since Bernie consistently through this panel has called your artwork shitty.
It's not just this panel, buddy.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad. Anyway, if any of the employees insult you in any way, do you ever get a thought of just drawing them very poorly than you already do?
No, I'm not, That'd be mean, but if I were going to do it to somebody, it would be Shane. Only because I work with him and he's always criticizing me. Just kidding.
And also he replies to emails all the time.
We have a list
like an
in the company. An internal list that you can send an email message to it from the company, and it sends it out to everyone in the company. Shane doesn't say 2 words all day long at the company, but he will reply to every single one of the. There you are, you fucker. He will reply to every single one of those things every single time.
It's like a tick. It's like a Tourette's or something, where he just has to shout "fuck" on the everybody list.
My favorite thing is when there's a thread that's been going on, and then 3 days later, Shane gets it, and then he responds to it as well.
I'm a little late to the party, but thank you for the coffee, Maggie.
Exactly.
All right, where were we?
Now that we're done bashing Shane, we can move on.
Oh, there.
Yeah, sorry. Well, the hot dog stole my question.
It's the first time that sentence has ever been said in the world, and you were here for it.
We've all been there.
Hot dog stole my question.
We've all been there.
So,
That damn hot dog stole my question.
I don't know, that's what I said, actually. So, I hate you. For the puns, also. Do you ever go back to older podcasts if you're you're running out of ideas, or you don't feel like, anything newer is like substantial or whatever?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at me, Bernie?
I'm not. I'm waiting for you to finish your question so I can say yeah.
Hey man, do you ever just feel bad about yourself and like what am I doing?
All the
And you
time,
put your
that's
pen
beside
down and
the
you just
point.
stare at the wall like a corner for a little bit, and you think about calling your parents, and you're like, they don't want to talk to me, and I'm like, I guess I'll go listen to an old podcast. It just got really dark really fast, man.
Also, I was wondering if Gus would sign my Simmons card.
Sure. Why not?
Is it a shoe?
What?
Gus
It's
wants
not
to
a
sign
shoe.
So what's the question? Does he go back and listen to old podcasts for inspiration?
Yeah, like...
The answer is yes.
Okay.
I think recently, I've gone back as far as 20 or so, or 19. 19 is famous for having an hour block of plain stories. So anytime there's an RTAA that's just plain stories, it came from that podcast.
Really?
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
He's doing something.
This question is for Bernie and Gus.
Yeah.
Which story would you guys want to see animated in the future?
That's interesting. Yeah, what do you guys want to see?
I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to come up with that off the top of my head. And I'll embarrass myself and name something he's already done. Good Lord. Let me think about that for a second. I'll come back to that one. I'll think about it for a second. What did you want to see animated?
Man.
He did my spit cup one. That one was great. When he captured it perfectly, when I pulled that cup full of tobacco spit. No, you're in this. You're in this. You know what you came here for. And that string of somebody else's spit, and I hit it, and it was hard. It was like a cobweb. I just wanted it to break, and it wouldn't. Yeah. That was. Now that I said it, I'm upset that he did it. So.
I can't think of any. Even like I said, just watching that one, I see something that we already talked about and something that happened, and it's still like a fresh story to me.
Yeah.
For me, it's literally we talk, and it's just fire and forget. It's just constantly drivel coming out of my mouth.
Did I ever tell the story about how I got Greg Kinnear fired on the podcast? I did? I'd like to see Greg Kinnear getting fired on an RTAA. That was awesome. I helped launch an Oscar-winning career. That's awesome.
You're welcome, Greg Kinnear. All right, we have time for a couple more questions.
Yep.
We're about time to wrap, but let's go a couple more.
We're getting close.
This is for you, Jordan. In the 4 years that you've been working with Lucha's Teeth and making animated adventures, how many different programs have you used, and why aren't they getting any better?
The programs are getting better.
I'm talking about your...
Just not the way in which we make the show. I've went from Flash 8 to, I guess, we went to CS 5.5 and now CS 6. And I will go no higher. CC I'm not comfortable with. And then usually what we do is we'll export the PNG sequence of the animation and then import that into Premiere and then export that as the video. That's the best way to do it. So it's usually Flash and Premiere.
Yeah, I never knew you exported it as PNG sequences until I started helping you figure out the 4K workflow.
Yeah, it wasn't always that way. Once we started doing that, it was great. It used to be you needed a certain codec installed into Flash, and that was the only one that worked. And otherwise, your video would be fucked. But since we started doing that, it's been fine.
Is that why you used to deliver me like giant file
Yeah.
sizes?
Yeah, because I had no way to compress it. I'll be right back. Where you
We'll be
going?
right back. Okay, I have a question for you from Twitter.
Ooh.
This is from @Velazen, Alan V on Twitter. It's @JRDan23. Hey Jordan, will you ever update how everyone looks in the RTAAs? For example, would you ever make Jeff with a mustache?
Yeah, that is something.
#5666187. Don't tell secrets, I'm right here. Oh, I love you too.
No,
you
this is
hang
gonna be
on.
our last question. We just updated Monty's look because when I first drew him, he had this long hair thing going on, and now around when I usually see him, he has like short hair that spikes up. So I figured it was time to update that. Once there's a story in which Jeff told it with the mustache.
Like the mustache was relevant?
Yeah, or it was just recent enough that he had the mustache when he told the story.
So in
that
your
is
universe,
when he will get the mustache.
Does Ray still have that horrible taxi driver haircut? Where
No, he only has it for that one episode, and he
Is that
only
the
ever
Pizza
will.
Bandito?
Yeah, because that was the only RTA in which he had the haircut.
All right. It's a bunch of whispering.
All right, well, we are going to end
You guys
the
are getting
stream
upset
now,
that you're leaving.
and we're going to show something to everyone else.
So,
What?
Whoever.